Mamas, welcome back to my channel. It's Demacy from Insole Mama, and today I wanted to share with you some breastfeeding tips. A little background about myself. I gave birth to a son in April of this year, and we have been exclusively breastfeeding since, so almost 4 months now. I wanted to share with you all some tips about sticking with breastfeeding, especially during those first couple of months. As I was pregnant, I decided that breastfeeding was something that I wanted to do, but I wasn't going to beat myself up about it if it was something that I felt that I couldn't do. I spent a lot of time during this first few weeks on the couch just breastfeeding, and sometimes it can be hard to get the latch figured out. So my first tip for you is to not give up. In the hospital after having my son, nursing was very painful. It was very tender. My nipples, nothing felt right. But luckily he was able to latch on. That is something I'm very thankful for. There were times while I was in the hospital that I felt that maybe it was a little too much after I left the hospital, especially in those first few weeks, because he was nursing a lot and I felt like I wasn't getting anything done. It just felt so time consuming. But I stuck with it, and so far so good. So my second tip is to ask for help. If you feel like your baby isn't getting enough milk or latching correctly, it's okay to ask for help. I personally looked at YouTube videos, did a lot of research when it came to making sure that my baby was nursing correctly, because I did have nipple pain, and that's one of the main signs that your baby may not have a proper latch. I also in the hospital had lactation consultants that came and walked around there on the clock 24/7, and you could ask them for help. Before I left, I made sure that I was talking to them, that they observed my latch and make sure that my son was getting enough. I also went to some breastfeeding support groups, and that was very uplifting to have other mothers that were pretty much going through the same thing that you were. And it was very helpful to be able to sit down, nurse openly, and speak with them. And nurses, lactation consultants there. So if you need help and you feel like you're not, your baby's not getting enough, or your nipples are sore, because they shouldn't be sore after, a month or so after breastfeeding. You should definitely do research and look into lactation consultants or breastfeeding support groups, because they are able to help you and give you the support that you need. So my third tip is to stay positive. Breastfeeding can be very, very stressful and very sometimes disheartening. If you feel like something's not working out breastfeeding, then that can bring you down. Like if you feel like your baby's not getting enough, or your doctor says, oh, you need to supplement or something like that. It can be very, very tough. And so you need to be in the mindset of, I want to do this for my baby, for myself, and I'm going to do this. Like, staying positive is the main key to breastfeeding. I know I couldn't do it if I had a negative mindset. I mean, sometimes I feel like I don't get anything done except nursing my baby. In the long run, that is exactly all you need to do. As long as your baby is happy and healthy and fed, that's all that matters. Having a positive outlook on breastfeeding, you will achieve that with your baby, and that's just something that I feel like plays a very important role when it comes to nursing, especially during those newborn days when you don't know what the heck you're doing, if it's your first child or your third. Every baby is different, so it's very important that you just stay positive and continue along your breastfeeding journey as happily and as focused and as determined as you can. Tip number 4 is to nurse often, especially during those first few weeks, first few days after having the baby. A lot of women give up because they feel like, my baby's not going to get enough, or I'm not going to produce enough milk. As a newborn, your baby has a teeny tiny stomach, so there's little drops of colostrum, which is the first part of the breast milk that comes out after you give birth. That is all a newborn baby needs. That's it. You need to nurse as often as you can within those days, so that when your milk does come in, for me it took around 3 days. I was still in the hospital when my milk came in. I did have a C-section, so I was there a lot longer than someone that had a vaginal birth. I did nurse my baby every 2 hours as they suggested, sometimes a little sooner. Nursing him a lot brought my milk in. Right now, my son eats maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours still. I feed him on demand. Whenever he is hungry, I nurse him. If you don't nurse your baby, often your body feels like it doesn't need to produce as much milk. So sometimes you can actually hurt your supply. no breastfeeding journey is perfect. There are ups and downs. It's important for you as a mother, a new mom, especially in those first few days, to nurse. Through the pain, through everything, nurse, because eventually it will get better. Your baby will learn to latch correctly. He will get bigger, no matter how big your boobs are, how small they are, how little your newborn's mouth is. As long as you nurse, things will get better. I know that sounds a little cliche, but if you nurse often, hey, practice makes perfect. So the last tip that I have is to be strong. Breastfeeding, I don't know why, I can sometimes have a negative rap. Some people say, oh, she's just flashing her boob out or whatever, and that's not true. I mean, breastfeeding is natural and it's beneficial for your baby. So as a mother, a breastfeeding mother, it's important to stay strong. I know nursing out in public can be a challenge, and that's something that I am still learning every day. I mean, I've only been on this journey for 4 months, and it's honestly been the best journey of my life, and I'm so grateful that me and my son are able to have this bond, and it does make me feel empowered and awesome. And I just love that I'm able to breastfeed my son and give him something that I made, that I'm able to produce for him. So if you're a breastfeeding mother, awesome. If you're a formula feeding mother, supplementing mother, that's great too, as long as your baby is fed, happy and healthy, and you guys have the relationship that you always dreamed of. That's what is important.
That is best.
I just want to share my tips and share my journey with you all, hopefully shed some light into other women's life. I know that breastfeeding can be very challenging. Doing what's best for your child in general can be very challenging. Hope that you were able to gain some motivation, some positive thinking, uplifting thoughts from this video, and I hope that is beneficial. This video is not to shame any mother who decides not to breastfeed, intended only to serve as a positive and uplifting video for any woman that wants to breastfeed. I did change the name of my video. It used to be Demacy and Ethan, but my husband and I, we don't really vlog a lot, so I thought maybe I could make this mommy channel. Hopefully I can continue to uplift and inspire other mommies. So I hope you enjoyed, and please stick around for the next videos. I plan to upload weekly. Please subscribe and feel free to let me know what you'd like to see in the comments. Alright, peace and love. Bye.